and we are talking with Fran Brolle today about a rally that is set up here in front of Shepherd University at the square at Shepherdstown for Black Lives Matter and equality, which is particularly poignant because it is Black History Month in February.
And it's President's Day.
Yeah, it is President's Day.
Abraham Lincoln's birthday is celebrated in February. We love Abe.
So, Fran, I know you organized this today. What thought process went into that?
Back in the late summer, early fall, a friend of mine and I were both older women. She's in her 80s, I'm 69. We were terribly distressed by the number of Black people that were being killed by police officers. And back then we decided we wanted to sit on the wall. Just the two of us, we decided we would do that. And I ended up being unable to do that because I had a hip replacement, which doesn't belong in the news. But I am well, and so we decided we would go ahead and try to do it now. And we decided to do it now because it's Black History Month, it's President's Day, and we're still concerned about Black lives. And we're concerned, well, let me also say that this group of people are here strictly through Facebook, word of mouth, and email. There was no big advertising or anything like that. People just heard about it by word of mouth, which is exciting to me that so many people showed up. I did some research about Black lives and found that in 2015 there were 991 fatal shootings by police, that's of all colors. In 2016 there were 963 fatal shootings by police of all colors. But statistically, Blacks are 2.5 times more likely to be shot and killed by police than are white people. White people make up 62% of the U.S. population, but are only about 49% of the people who are killed by police. Blacks are 13% of the U.S. population, but make up 24% of the people who are shot and killed. Now that's data from Washington Post. Washington Post did a big study. They gathered data from the FBI and other law enforcement agencies and came up with a lot of data. And you can actually go on the Washington Post website and look up Black fatalities by police and get more data.
Yeah, that's a pretty big discrepancy. So,
I agree.
You know, it's definitely
a concern. It's a concern. We were not just concerned about fatal shootings, but we were also concerned about voter suppression. Voter suppression primarily occurs in African American communities. And again, you can go online and visit the Southern Poverty Law Center and find data for Alabama, Mississippi, and other southern states where redistricting has occurred in almost surgical precision to lock out people of color. A lot of polling places have been closed or their hours limited so that minority people are unable to get there, particularly poor people who have to work. They make $12 an hour. They can't afford to take a whole afternoon off from work to go and register and vote. They can't take a whole day off to go and get photo identification and stuff like that. So that's a real concern of ours as well, redistricting and voter suppression. We're also concerned about death penalty rates. According to the Government Accounting Office, the GAO did a meta study. Is that the right word? Meta study? Mega study? Meta? And the GAO found that the race of the victim significantly influences whether or not the death penalty is sought. So, if the victim is a white person, then the death penalty is sought with much greater frequency than if the victim is non-white. The other thing, I'll just read this to you. President Trump plans to limit the focus of Countering Violent Extremism program, which is a program that's been in existence for some years. He wants to limit the focus of the extremism program to Islamic terrorism. My question is, what about white terrorism? Muslims are not the only people that are involved in terrorism in this country. According to the Anti-Defamation League, white supremacist groups were responsible for 74% of 372 extremist-related murders from 2006 to 2016. Of 45 police officers killed by domestic extremists since 2001, 34 were killed by right-wing extremists. And so these are numbers that are significant to me and also prove the point that races are being treated differently, not necessarily by the police, but by the state and federal government as well. That's it.
Yeah, that's a huge deal. That's what that is. I want to thank you for taking time out of everything that's going on to talk to me.
Sure.
And to give us some of these facts, because they are important, they are startling, and they do say a lot about why you guys are out here, because, you know, it is a situation where it does matter.
I noticed since we got here, there are two other groups of people who've shown up. One is the Quaker group has shown up with a sign, and another one that's called Justice for, I don't see his name, but it's a young man who was shot and killed in Martinsburg about 4 years ago. And so you may want to talk